Listen to this story. A job with low pay, no chance to grow. That's how Vivian started out in life. She even had to borrow money just to buy groceries. All that changed when Vivian began to give. In time, she paid off her mortgage and paid cash for her college tuition. Today, she's enjoying the career of her dreams.
My students, they give me joy.
Vivian Ruskowitz never imagined becoming a teacher. Today, she's thriving in a kindergarten classroom, exactly where she belongs.
My heart is full when I teach because I feel like I'm doing something that I was called to do.
Vivian's career didn't begin in the classroom. She started out as an airport dispatcher, working the night shift in a job with low pay and no chance to grow. She was always concerned about money. Once she had to borrow just to buy groceries.
I felt disappointed that I couldn't support myself completely, even though I was working hard. It was a very hard time. It was very stressful.
Around that time, Vivian started watching the 700 Club. However, when it came to the teaching segments on giving, she wasn't interested.
Initially, I was skeptical. I thought it was only for people that had money. I didn't think it was meant for me because I wasn't making that much. I was stingy and selfish. I didn't think about others. I didn't think I was able to help them.
She kept watching, and over the next year, the teachings on tithing changed how Vivian thought about money. She decided to become a 700 Club partner.
Once I started tithing, I started getting raises. I saw the law of reciprocity work in my life. As I was increasing in my income, I was getting more hours. I was given more opportunities to work overtime.
Vivian also discovered she was no longer fearful about money.
My heart was changing as I was giving more. Not that I was very wealthy, but I was able to give. I believe because I was faithful with the tithing, I was able to buy a small home and pay off the mortgage before I even turned 30 years old.
After Vivian married and started a family, she and her husband continued to tithe faithfully. When their kids started school, Vivian volunteered and found her new purpose.
Never thought about being a teacher until I was given the opportunity to volunteer in the classroom and just finding that joy being around the kids. I remember coming home to my husband and saying, I want to be a teacher.
Vivian went on to get her teaching degree and was able to pay her tuition with cash. She started teaching full-time and never looked back. Their income has steadily increased since then.
I believe the law of reciprocity had everything to do with why we're financially secure now. He taught us to trust in him.
Vivian also trusts CBN. That's why she's been a faithful partner with the ministry for nearly 40 years.
What I appreciate about CBN is they continue to grow in their mission to help others. Orphans Promise, Operation Blessing. They go in these communities and provide assistance and incorporate all these thousands of volunteers to help. So it's a community base, and they're being the hands and feet of Jesus.
Vivian is grateful for what she's learned about giving and wants to share that joy with others.
I just encourage everyone out there to be generous and to be a cheerful giver, to be obedient to what God is calling us to do. We're stewards of the blessings He gives us. It's not our money, it's God's money. It is more blessed to give than to receive. I'm living proof of that.
Vivian, thank you, by the way, for investing in the lives of children. Are you grateful for these wonderful teachers who just give so much? And what a transformation, what a journey for Vivian. She admitted, when I heard about giving, stories about giving, teaching on giving, I just was not interested. Charlene and I were remarking during the piece how she even said, I thought giving was for people who had a lot of money. But she decided to trust God with the little, so to speak, that she had, or a small investment in the kingdom, but big investment into the lives of people. And she ends that story talking about, look, I'm the hands and feet of Jesus. What a heart transformation. You know, Scripture has a lot of wisdom for us. We know that. Also in regards to finances. Look at this from Proverbs, the wisdom book. So much wisdom in Proverbs, especially here, chapter 11. It is possible to give away and become richer. It is also possible to hold on too tightly and lose everything. Yes, the liberal man shall be rich. Here's the key. By watering others, he waters himself. I was reading that in Scripture the other night. He who waters others will himself be refreshed. And often we don't know that, we don't experience it until we step out in faith